The WWE is now off of the road to WrestleMania and now getting ready for the Backlash. And there was quite a lot of Backlash on Sunday night into Monday about the WrestleMania that we all had to sit through and everything like that. And then when the time came, Monday Night Raw delivered. We were talking about how we needed something big from this show, and I think we got something big from this show. I really enjoyed this Monday Night Raw. It doesn't make up for what was a lackluster WrestleMania. It doesn't make me think, oh, you know what, the creative direction with the John Cena thing was the right thing. None of that. It was good, though. It was good. And, like, you think back to where we were a year ago at the Raw after WrestleMania, and it's Cody, and he's just finished the story, and The Rock comes out, and he says, well, we'll meet soon. And he whispers something in Cody's ear, and Cody is a little taken aback and a little surprised. And what The Rock was whispering was, we're not going to pay this off. This was it. I'm going to tease that we're going to pay this off, but we're not actually going to pay this off. Apparently that's what it was, which it took a lot to say that, whispered. But it is frustrating when you think back to where we were at the Raw after WrestleMania last year and now where it is at now, and to think of all the potential that you could have had and everything that we were all excited for. I am still a little annoyed by all of it, and it is still quite frustrating that everything has kind of happened in the way that it has happened. But still, putting that aside, it was a good Monday Night Raw. I think when you look at like what we are getting now out of the Cena thing, and Cena was great. Like he plays off of a live audience so incredibly well, and he really does do a great job of just like reading and reacting when he is out there on the mic. It was phenomenal work that he did. And when, like, the crowd was funny when they were doing the we are sorry, and then Cena's like, they're saying we're not sorry. Perfect. Excellent. 10 out of 10. No notes. Brilliant. Loved that he did that. I thought that was really, really funny when he was able to kind of go on the fly and switch that up and still turn the crowd on him. And then when the crowd starts booing Cody a little bit, he calls everyone a bunch of like sorry bastards or something like that for not being behind Cody Rhodes and everything. So I thought the promo was great. I thought like him counting down the days, and he's like, that's dates, that's not matches. You say I can't wrestle, I don't need to wrestle. Oh, it was all very good from John Cena. So some excellent work there from Cena. And then you get the tight shot that we got with Joe Hendry, and out comes Randy Orton, and ba-bam! And we are getting the feud that we were hoping for with Cena versus Orton one more time. Backlash is going to be in St. Louis. That just so happens to be the home of one Randy Orton, so it makes a whole lot of sense to go in that direction. And I think a build-up with those two guys on different ends now of the babyface heel dynamic is going to be spectacular. I think it is going to be just a whole lot of fun to see those guys really start to ramp things up, and I'm very excited for that feud. We still don't get any explanation of the Rock thing. I think at this point, I'm not saying we should just forget it and move on, because it is so incredibly frustrating that we just have to forget it and just move on. But there is at least a lot that is there now with John Cena and Randy Orton that we can at least push forward and still have that little thing in the, yeah, but still fun. So we're going to be all right that way going forward. After that, we have the women's tag team titles on the line. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria defend against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I thought this match was awesome. I thought the crowd was really getting into it. There was a lot of great spots between all of them. Like Lyra, the character hasn't really connected yet, but hot damn is she good as a wrestler. And Liv Morgan is great, as always. And, I mean, the reasons that I thought that they were going to retain when I thought it was going to be Bayley kind of play out here. I like having Liv just be in charge of the tag team division for a little while, and having her be the one who is, like, she just gets to kind of mold it in her own way and be the star of this division while the women's title picture kind of works itself out. The big moment here, obviously, after the match is done, Becky wallops Lyra, and the sorry bastards that were this crowd chanting the one more time when Becky comes out and starts beating down Lyra Valkyria, setting up a Lyra heel turn when she is going for a 17th World Championship 20 years from now. But I thought, like, I do think that this makes sense. you do have to take a couple logistical leaps with this one a little bit, with Becky getting the opportunity to come back, with Bayley being attacked. So did Becky attack Bayley knowing that she was then going to be disappointed by Lyra? Was this just a spur of the moment thing? Like, I almost want there to be like a Becky kind of apology thing next week. Like, I was in the moment, I overreacted, I'm sorry, we're still a team, whatever, and let's try to push through it this way. And then there's another attack and something like that. Like, this was so in the moment that there is almost no possible way Becky could have planned this out or anything like that. So I almost want this to be just explained as this was spur of the moment. I'm sorry. Let's go back and let's do it. And then they lose again, and it's and fuck your face, and just starts beating her up again. That's kind of where I want the direction for this one to go. But overall, like I think it's a great storyline for Lyra. I think that this is probably will be good for the Intercontinental title division as well, to have Becky Lynch in there for a little bit. Continuing on with our Raw After Mania recap, but a reminder, we're on Twitch right now. Not the only time we're going to be on Twitch today. Going to be back up there at 3 o'clock Mountain Time. Going to be doing a hockey stream on there today as we continue our Flames rebuild, and I'm in the mood to talk a little bit more hockey, so we'll get into that. But continuing on with the Raw After Mania here, New Day comes out. They say they are the best tag team champions of all time, and no team, living or dead, are as good as they are. And I was like, sometimes when you get those things, it's, well, out comes someone to prove them wrong. And I'm like, well, they can't bring a dead tag team back. That, I mean, literally doesn't work. So what are we going to do? And admittedly, Alpha Academy was not top of my priority list for that. Maxine Dupree comes out and kind of proves that in-ring ability isn't the only thing she needs to work on, but she's trying, at least. And I said before, we're briefly in the build to WrestleMania, I would like it if this act could be taken seriously a little bit. And I know, like, I feel like I'm doing that with every comedy thing. Like, oh, well, if we could take it seriously, that'd be great. And you do still need comedy and entertainment on your programming. But these two guys can actually go a little bit. And so it'd be nice if they were a bit of a more serious act. But they come out. There's a 1 minute man joke because these guys beat the New Day in a minute, a match that everyone remembers. And we're about to get it. Lights go out. Rusev is here. And my guy, he has spent every waking moment, not on television, in a gym. He is, get out the duct tape. This guy is ripped. Oh my word. Rusev, yoked, comes out and just kicks the shit out of everyone. And we have a beatdown, and off we go. I do think, like, I had kind of thrown out a couple of options for New Day getting some muscle. I think Rusev would work. A new Rusev Day could be here. I wouldn't mind if Rusev and New Day kind of join forces a little bit and start to push forward. So I think that there could be something there with Rusev and the New Day. I think that's a great pairing. And I mean, Deeds in the chat here, Braun and Big E. Man, if you want to get Braun in and have him going up against Rusev and Big E, like, Big E forms a group now with Braun and a couple other. Honestly, fuck it. Big E is in charge of Alpha Academy, and he brings in Braun Strowman to help them out, and we get that kind of a clash. Let's set that one up. I mean, look, I don't know how much Braun fits with the Academy part of the Alpha Academy name, but my guy, when you look up Alpha in the dictionary, he pops up. So we could make that work. I think that would be fun. I'm loving the suggestion there from Deeds in the chat over on twitch.tv/primetimepk. So no, I think there are possibilities with this one anyway, and I think it could be a pretty fun way to go with a few different directions. Then Iyo Sky comes out and says she is the best, cuts a promo in super not her native language, but still get the crowd behind her a little bit. And then Stephanie Vaquer's music plays and says that she wants to go up against the best. You say you're the best, so let's do this. And we get a match, and this crowd was here for it. It was interesting because there were moments where I was like, man, this crowd's kind of dead a little bit. And then out of nowhere, I was like, this is awesome. It's like, oh, okay, I guess they're enjoying it. Great, sweet, awesome, cool. So it was it was very interesting that they did that. And like Cole is really building this up as kind of a dream match. And McAfee is doing a great job on that as well. Not their best work of the night. We'll talk about that in a second here. But that they built this up well. The match was great. The crowd gets into the Devil's Kiss. And you love like the Booker T chant after. And the crowd just doing the ah, ah, ah. Love that. So much fun. And Stephanie Vaquer in on the joke as well. But this match was great. And then Roxy comes in and attacks Iyo. And on the one hand, you can kind of explain away that Roxy is just like doesn't want Vaquer to get this big moment or anything like that. Like she is ruining her Raw debut. And so you can get that. On the other hand, if I'm Roxy, I might wait till after the match. Or if there's absolutely going to be a win, I will get in there for sure. But I maybe want Stephanie to get beat up a little bit if I got an NXT Championship match coming up on Tuesday. I think I want her to eat a moonsault or two as this match progresses. So I don't know if I would have run in at that exact moment. But she comes in and then Julia runs down. There's a bit of a look between Roxy and Julia and they start going. So my initial thought is that this is a main roster call-up for Julia. It is kind of a solidifying of Roxy as a main roster competitor. And this is a tag team now. We've said the women's tag team division needs some depth. I would suggest that it needs it on the babyface side more than the heel side, but they just need depth, and they have it here with these two. So, two phenomenal performers, two of the best in the world, and you get some stare downs with Julia and Rhea Ripley, who comes out and makes the save. So you tie in a few different pieces here and building it up. But this to me felt like a call-up for Julia and putting her in a tag team with Roxy. So I would be excited about that. They're two performers that are main roster ready. We did the NXT call-ups video yesterday. This is this. She was on there. And so I think that there is a real value in having Julia there. And I think that this could be a very big moment for her and a very big boost to the women's division because this is genuinely one of the best performers in the world. And then we get what was probably the segment of the day. And well, kind of building into it, the story of the day, I guess. Because first we get Jay coming out, and he does the yeet entrance and all that, and then we get the one more time. He cuts an impassioned promo. It's cool. It's a celebration. And then Sammy comes out, and they hug, they embrace. It's a great promo. Sammy saying how much it killed him not to be at WrestleMania, and all of those things. And then they celebrate, and then the crowd sees it. Sammy is standing and staring at Jay. And it's like, oh my God, we're doing another turn here today. My heart cannot. And they're staring and staring and staring. And then Jay comes off, and we're celebrating again. And then Jimmy Uso comes out. And then we have this big long thing. It's a big wide shot. They are teasing the shit out of this being some kind of a heel turn. We walk all the way to the back, and there's no turn. But they put it in your minds that, hey, you knew. You thought, and maybe, there might be. Like, they just had you eating out of the palm of their hand the whole time with that. I thought they did that so very effectively. I thought it was awesome. But it was topped because we come back from a commercial break, and Gunther is just staring daggers into Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. And you kind of could hear, like, Cole was saying like, oh man, it's great to have a champion that actually smiles and has fun. It was basically like we have been saved from the Wicked Witch of the West as Gunther is no longer our champion. And so Gunther, a little pissed about that, comes out and starts beaking at Michael Cole, pushes Pat McAfee aside, grabs Cole, goes to put him in a choke. McAfee comes in, Superman punch, so Gunther chokes out McAfee. The production team or whatever it may be, the Boston Connor and all those guys from McAfee's show were sitting front row. They come running up to try to get involved, and there is a part of that it's like, no, do it. Please, like by all means, I am not a McAfee show fan. I think like a lot of the stuff they do is entertaining. There's some stuff that you wish they wouldn't do, but a lot of the stuff is entertaining. But it also would have been funny to just see the mustachioed mullet guy get powerbombed to hell in Las Vegas, and the guy who does a really funny Mel Kiper thing, in getting just like choked out as well. So like there would be, I think, a lot of entertainment in that, but this segment was great. Like they did an awesome job with it. Like McAfee getting choked out. The choke it goes from, okay, this is too long to, oh shit, like, is he going to try to, are they killing Pat McAfee on Netflix? And then they pull him off, and McAfee sells his ass off. He is choking, he is coughing, it feels like he's gonna vomit, he's spitting up, like he did such an unbelievable job with this. And I think like a bit of a feud with a McAfee and a Gunther actually works. If you want to take Gunther away from the Jey Uso side of it, because I don't think you want to beat Gunther again, but I don't think you want to lose Jey Uso as the champion and have him lose right away. I think this is a good kind of pivot point to that. Have this go for a month or whatever it may be, and you get a match out of it. McAfee has shown that for a match or two, he can definitely shine, and Gunther will just chop the bejesus out of him, and that'll be that, and then we'll move on. But I think this was great. I thought that, like, all the little details after it, like Michael Cole, he gets the Michael Cole song after, which was, I thought, awesome. And, you know, it's nice to see the announcer, you know, as a broadcaster, it's nice to see the announcers get their flowers every now and then. But you get, like, it's the little details. Like, Cole is coughing on commentary, and, like, comes back and says he's not going to let a bully ruin the night after WrestleMania. So he's going to go back out there, but he's coughing, and he is off mic. Like, he's definitely doing the, hey, can we check on Pat, please? And those sorts of things. Like, it's just those little touches that wouldn't have been done. Joe Tessitore coming out, and he is, like, he's barely in a dress shirt. It's sleeves rolled up. He has his suit jacket with him, and he is bringing it out to the ring. And I just thought they called this like it was something that had actually just happened, you know, and it legitimately was a thing that just happened. But I just, they called it in such an effective way, and just added those little details and those little nuances all along that made this feel so much more believable and so great. The one thing, it did take away from a pretty fun match of Dominic Mysterio and Penta, but we get the return of JD McDonough. Obviously, there's some trouble in the Judgment Day with Finn Balor feeling a little bit on the outs right now and feeling some kind of way about a championship for one's a championship for all, right? So there's obviously more to that storyline. Finn really does need a bit of a reset. There's the talk of the zero aura wrestlers right now, and he does kind of feel in that, which is crazy, because when he gets called up and when he was in Bullet Club, he had all of it, right? Like, he just had this swagger about him that was almost comical. How much swagger there was for a guy who, like, if you saw him on the street, you would not use that word as a descriptor for him. So interested to see where that goes. And then we have our main event segment. Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, they come out. You figured we weren't going to get much of an explanation here. CM Punk comes down, he's wrapping his hands up. The one line that I wish they would have included, like, they were saying, like, he's wrapping his hands looking for a fight. A couple weeks ago, Punk hadn't used the line, like, my hands aren't wrapped so I can hold a microphone. I think they would have, if he would have called back to that, it would have been great, but that's just a little nitpick. We get the brawl down. Brawl out was what it was. Rollins gets the advantage because of a Heyman distraction, and then Roman Reigns comes down, and it feels like Paul is about to get speared because Roman gets the advantage there, and then out of nowhere Braun Breaker comes in and spears the hell out of him, and then Seth is standing in the middle of the ring, and they shot this so well. Braun is looking like he's about to spear him, but it's because Punk has stood up behind Rollins, and he spears him. Rollins doesn't even move, and he starts laughing, and he claps, and he's like, my boy! So we get the Rollins faction we were talking about. I said that this was a group that needed some muscle, and they got it with Braun Breaker. I thought this would be a good intro for Jeff Cobb, but this was a great spot to bring Braun Breaker in, and then he spears Roman Reigns through the barricade. Just phenomenal stuff. That this is great. It is the setting up of a new faction with Paul Heyman kind of at the center of it. I think that's awesome. A lot of people talking about like an evolution sort of a thing. If you want to bring one more person into it, absolutely. We talked the other day about how I am faction right now. So I thought this was great. So again, it does not erase the disappointment that we got coming out of WrestleMania, but it does set up a lot of intrigue now going forward, heading towards Backlash. So it doesn't erase the bad memories, but it does keep you invested and does get you excited now going forward.